Welcome back. So for today, I'm going to be comparing two similar products. They are both brine shrimp hatch kits. One is the original Sea Monkeys, and one is the Aqua Dragons. Now this is the Sea Monkeys on Mars, and this is the Aqua Dragons in Space. So they are somewhat comparable products, and it's going to be fun for us to set them up and just see the differences and compare the two products and see how they do. We might even have some fun and exchange some colonies around and have some crossbreeding just to see how that all works out. So let's take a closer look. So we could start by comparing the packaging. Now, Sea Monkeys on Mars, classic kit, our cylinder tank with our lovely sea monkey artwork that we all fell in love with as children. There's an image of packets 1, 2, and 3 and our feeding spoon and our aqua leash. Here is our Aqua Dragons. Now it's a bigger kit, but looks can be deceiving. It probably has about the same stuff in here. We've got a tank, got a nice little thermometer here, along with a booklet and the hatch kit packets. Start by opening this Sea Monkey. Kit. Here is our very familiar instruction sheet. With our directions and temperature chart. Here's our packet 1. And again, these say made in USA. That's how you know they're authentic. Packet number 2. Packet number 3. Our aqua leash. Feeding spoon. Let's pull the tank out. There's a little magnifying glass at the top of the tank. And there's nothing like opening a fresh Sea Monkey kit. Gets me every time. Open this up carefully. Make sure we don't scratch it. These do scratch easy. They're made out of plastic. Alright. So here is our kit. I'm going to put the instructions aside because I'm pretty familiar with them. And I'm just going to keep everything right here. Put it aside here. Now for our Aqua Dragons, it's a pretty big box. I love big packages, it's fun. Tank's gonna come out first for this one. Here's our food. And here's our eggs. Wow, it's a thick packet of eggs, I'll tell you that much. Here's our certificate of authenticity and some instructions here. Also, looks like there's some kind of app. Free Aqua Dragons app. Might be fun to look at, see what that's about. Looks like it's a game. Put that aside. Here's our tank. I'll put these instructions aside. Here's our aqua leash that this one comes with. And little feeding spoon. As far as our thermometer, now I'm not sure what this is or how this is going to work, color coded, but we'll find out in a second. So this is our Aqua Dragons kit, and this is our Sea Monkeys kit. Now I do have some water right here. I'm going to be setting these kits up. First things first, I'm going to rinse both of these tanks. Now one of the first things I'm going to do after rinsing these tanks, see if this needs batteries. I believe it does. Yep. So we're going to need 2 AAA. Here's our batteries. Here's our tiny microscopic screw. Oh, and there's our light. We'll turn it on when it's all filled up with water, and we'll shut the lights off to see how that really looks. So here's our lid for this. First thing I kind of notice here is the Sea Monkeys plastic looks like it's a lot better quality. I actually really like it right now. I'm not sure if this is upgraded, but it seems nice and thick and very clear. The Aqua Dragon seems a little floppy. You can even see one of these eggs here has been dented in. So let's see if I can maybe, oh, looks like I did dent that out. We'll see if that means a hole in our tank. Might mean that, let's see. Alright, so I am going to do the Sea Monkeys first since I'm very familiar with them. Packet number 1. So I am going to fill the Sea Monkeys up with water here, up until the dotted line. And we're going to put packet number 1 in there in just a second. Now let me read these instructions. Fill the tank with 400 milliliters of bottled water up to the line marked on the tank. So, where is this line? It's right here. So I'm going to fill it up until that line. Okay, up until the dotted line. Let me see if this dent we had here is going to be leaking on us. Doesn't seem like it. Tip the full contents of egg pouch only into the water and stir gently. Maintain the habitat in a safe place with natural light and stable temperature of around 20 to 27 degrees Celsius, especially during the first 2 weeks of their life. Feed them the day after setup with 2 level spoons of feed from the food pouch provided. Then feed every other day with 1 level spoonful. Wow, so a lot more feeding than the Sea Monkeys. Now let's put these closer to the light and add the eggs. Alright, now here's our 2 tanks. The instructions are a little different. Now the sea monkeys tell you to put packet number 1 and then wait 24 hours before you put the eggs. So here's packet number 1. Always want to flick the bag a little. Get that last bit in there. I'm going to use this aqua leash to stir it very well. Alrighty. And then the Aqua Dragons tell us to just put the eggs in. And then for the Aqua Dragons, I'm going to put these full contents of the eggs in, which I'm sure has salt as well. I'm going to use a specific stir that came with the Aqua Dragons. Again, this is the Aqua Dragons in Space and the Sea Monkeys on Mars comparison experiment. Alright, you can see our Aqua Dragons is a lot more cloudy, but let's give these tanks a day and let's see what we can find in them. Alright, it's day 2 and both tanks are looking a little bubbly. Let's take a close look. No signs of life in the sea monkey tank. Couple small little baby Aqua Dragons in here. Today we are adding packet number 2 to our Sea Monkeys on Mars. I'm going to keep the video continuous just in case we see any sea monkeys instantly hatch, but many times they take a couple hours or even a day. I'm going to kind of blow these bubbles off the sides so you can view the tank a little better. Let's zoom in here to see if we find any instant life. Here's our Aqua Dragons on day 2. I'm going to aerate the tank and get these bubbles off the side. Let's give both of these tanks 1 hour and we'll be back and see how things look. Alright, it's day 3 and we definitely have a good amount of sea monkeys on Mars and a good amount of aqua dragons in space. Let's take a closer look, see how everybody's doing. Alright, it's day 4 and the sea monkeys tank has a good amount of sea monkeys and the aqua dragons tank has a few more aqua dragons, but let's see which one's going to do better in the long term. Today we are going to be feeding our aqua dragons tank. So we're just going to feed one of these little scoops right in there. Now I'm just going to aerate the tank. Alright, today is day 7. Alright, it's day 10 and it looks like we have a lot more Aqua Dragons in space. But this one sea monkey is pretty huge. These guys look pretty tough. The 3 that are in here. And I actually saw 2 small babies just sprout up. So the sea monkeys are coming back. Alright, it's day 12 and our sea monkeys are actually doing quite well. They seem to be bouncing back. There's actually a few babies in here, and these 2 adults that are in here are quite large. Now our Aqua Dragons in space are hovering in the same numbers. They're actually doing pretty good. Today is feeding day for both tanks. First things first, I am going to aerate them. I'm going to use this aqua leash that comes with the sea monkeys. Should be good. And I'm going to use this other one that comes with the Aqua Dragons. Here is a Aqua Dragons spoonful of their food. And here is a sea monkey spoon of the sea monkey packing with me. You can see the little babies going crazy. This is some of their first feeding.
Alright, it's day 18, and our sea monkeys have plenty of babies and are bouncing back.
Alright, so it's day 20 and our sea monkeys on Mars versus Aqua Dragons in Space experiment. Couple things I noticed. The Aqua Dragons took off right off the bat. There was a lot of them. And then the sea monkeys, there was one or two. And then I realized those adults, the sea monkey adults, actually got a lot bigger than the Aqua Dragons. And now I'm starting to see a lot of babies and teenagers in the sea monkeys tank, while the Aqua Dragons is actually beginning to dwindle in numbers. So we're going to see what happens over the course of the next 10 days, and things are going to get pretty interesting.
So it's day 21, and both our sea monkeys on Mars and our Aqua Dragons in Space are doing great. So it looks like the sea monkeys are a lot bigger. The population's not as big, but this one female is the biggest one we have in here. And it looks like their numbers are starting to increase. Our Aqua Dragons in Space seem to have found a nice homeostasis. The adults in that tank look to be about medium compared to the one large adult in the sea monkey tank.
Today I'm going to feed our Aqua Dragons, and I'm going to aerate both tanks. I'm going to let that food sit there for a little bit. This is our aqua leash. And this is what came with the Aqua Dragons. As you can see, our Aqua Dragons tank looks to be a lot dirtier. That's probably because there was more Aqua Dragons in that one. When they first hatched, there was a ton. I think some of them died off. Now they're starting to kind of find a homeostasis, like I said. But our sea monkey tank is starting to slowly increase in numbers, nice and strong.
So today's day 30, and we're going to experiment a little bit. I'm going to grab a couple Aqua Dragons and put them in the sea monkeys tank to see how they do. One, two, three, four. Just to even things back out, I'm actually going to grab a little bit of water from the sea monkeys on Mars and put it in the Aqua Dragons tank.